I had my speaker on mute. So let me start again. I'm so sorry. I'll crop it later. But hi Raquel. Hi everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm doing a little live stream today, and I'm doing this part again because I was on mute as usual, as I usually do. So today we're doing a little live stream, and we're making kind of like a spooky inspired spread. So for this, I've chosen a lot of images that are kind of like vintage, kind of old, and perhaps a little bit like, I don't know, they feel kind of creepy to me. Maybe at the time when they were like, these images were, or the images of these objects were taken, or the objects were made, they weren't intended to be creepy. But when we look at them now, they kind of have like a kind of a similar kind of like scary, homemade, folky kind of aesthetic. So that's what I'm kind of going for. So thank you, Raquel, for letting me know that my mic wasn't on. Can you imagine if I had just recorded the whole thing and nobody said anything? So I am again working with my Tombow water-based markers. I have a couple of acrylic markers in store. I kind of have my eye on a couple of these that I can't seem to find at this exact moment. Here, probably be here. And so I have an idea to use maybe some of these really chunky acrylic markers. This is a liquid text paint marker for, you know, maybe making a large ground or something like that. So yeah, I'm going to play with just a lot of different media, but mostly it's going to be drawing. I'm not actually going to be doing any like painting today, but you should use whatever you like. I encourage you to bring your favorite materials and draw these images alongside me. So just a little reminder, if you're new here, there are images that I'm going to post up on the screen as I draw. You'll be able to see them there, but they're going to be kind of small. So you can always open up the Patreon page and see the images there. I just posted them this morning, so you can see. And this is probably the order-ish that we're going to go in. So, you know, you can kind of keep tabs on where we're at today. So you just let me know if you have any questions or anything. You can always chat in the box, and I'm going to be drawing right here. So again, this is my, I keep wanting to say it's an A5, but it might be an A3 sketchbook. It's pretty big. This is about 16.5 inches and 11 3/4 inches. I don't know what that is in centimeters, but I should probably learn that. So this is centimeters, 42 centimeters by 29. So I'm not sure if that makes that an A5 or an A3 or an A7 or something like that, but this is the book I'm going to work in. I also have two books that are pretty handy. They're handy and they're off to the side here. So if I really want to kind of draw something in another book or make something smaller, I can work over there. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share with you the first image, and you can kind of get going. As I mentioned when I was on mute, I do think that I'll probably be using some sort of like really loose timers. I'm not gonna like hold myself to anything really formal or like, you know, I don't know, technical. I just want to like have an idea of not going past like, you know, 10 minutes for one drawing. So I will be kind of moving alongside a timer. I'm going to open my door for my doggo, who insists on coming in. So no strict timers. If I'm not done and the timer went off, I will just keep drawing until I feel like I'm ready to move forward. So I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller so that way you can see. There we go. So again, the images are a little bit small when we're drawing here, so you should, I encourage you to open it up alongside your, alongside where you're working so you can see them handy. And that's what I have. I have my iPad on the side here, and I'm using that to view the images. So this first image, I just like love this. This is not spooky at all to me, but I think it's just so cute. And I think for this one, I like to use some unusual colors, but I think I'm going to use this kind of Liquitex, but I'm going to find some oranges too. surprisingly don't have a lot of oranges here, but I'll take these. I have a couple of acrylic markers right here, and then my Tombow water-based markers are over on the side. Okay, so my book is really, really big, so I'm actually just gonna be working on one page, but I'm working the full size of it. I'm gonna try to make this so that it's comfortable for you to see and comfortable for me to work. Let me see if I can straighten that out. My what's this thing called? My tripod is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of funny, so I've had such a hard time getting like everything fitting in there, but I think this will do. Okay, let's get going. So I'm gonna start with, I think I'm gonna use something like really light. I'm gonna put a timer on here. I'm gonna choose about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna choose 1 or 2 of these pumpkins to draw. I like to start with a light color, so I'm gonna work with this yellowish color, and I'm drawing that pumpkin at the top that has like a little, like a burglar mask on or something. It's got like a little black mask on, and it's got a triangle nose. It's got 2 little teeth here, which I love, and a little tooth there. Really hard to see with this yellow, but soon you'll be able to see it a little better as it starts to come through. And then it looks like it has a little mask on. It is about 10 a.m. here in the Central Time Zone, so it's morning-ish. And this morning I woke up and completely forgot that we were even doing this. Well, I knew that we had a stream on Saturday, but I don't know why I thought that I had scheduled it for the evening. So I, was having a very casual morning. I made breakfast. I already vacuumed. I was just taking it easy. And then I was like, let's check in on Patreon. And I was going to post a bunch of pictures of some drawings I've been doing this week. And then I was like, let's look at that calendar. And I was like, oh my gosh, 10 a.m. It is. And it was about 9:30. So I said, well, I think I could still make it. Let's go. And plus I haven't done any drawing yet today. So this is good for me. I'm definitely a morning person. So drawing in the morning just feels better for me. And I don't know if you're, what are you? Are you a morning person like I am? So I'm drawing these little segments in right here. Okay, trying to make sense of what I did here. So these are plastic pails, so they're going to be they're not very natural. They're very round. I don't really even see, oh, there's a little bit of a handle here. It's kind of like stuffed under. It kind of does something like that. I don't know. Oh, I can see it now. It actually came down. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And I think to kind of make this, get some of those Halloween-y colors, instead of using black for my darks, I'm going to use some version of a purple. It'll feel kind of Halloween-ish. I think purple, green, orange all feel very Halloween-y to me. So I'm going to use purple in lieu of black, and this is a lavender-y kind of shade. It's number 553 on the Tombow water-based markers. So I'll probably add also a little bit of darker purples too. So this part of the mask has a lot of light here, like light reflecting off of it. So I'm going to use this as my light, and then I can add dark to the parts that have more darkness. I really want to move the camera, but I feel feel like that will make things worse. It'll probably fall, and then I'll be struggling to put it back up the whole time. So we're just gonna deal with that just because I'm on the corner right now. So I'm looking at the screen and I can see that it looks pretty small up there, but I mean, I feel like this is a pretty big pumpkin. Drawing in the sketchbook I've been working in, the A4, see, there we go again with the A's, and the A4 Talons Creation one, I feel like it is so small. And usually when I'm working in a sketchbook, I tend to like bigger sketchbooks so that I can work a little bigger, but I know that I get kind of I definitely get the hang of it after a while, and I feel like I accommodate or kind of like start to work better in whatever size I'm working in. So I can adapt and become like a small drawer, and I can, you know, adapt and become a big drawer. But this feels pretty big compared to what I've been working with as of late, which is the Small Royal Talons book. So even though it looks kind of small on the screen, it's like almost the size of my hand. It's pretty big. Okay, so these are the two colors so far, and I'm just gonna try to keep track of them with some swatching right here. Whoops, there we go. Let's bring in another purple, something a little darker. And I'll add some of that to, this is a little darker, but probably not enough. Let's go even darker. Raquel, I'm so glad you made it today. I know sometimes it can be like a struggle to find time, but whenever you get a chance, I feel like we should chat. I need to hear all about your residency that you're doing, because it seems like it's really, really cool. Okay, I'm adding a little bit of dark over here, which is where the shadowy, darker part of the mask is. It's pretty dark here too. And then over here, it kind of, you know, tapers out and it gets dark again over here. There, we've got some little tiny eyebrows. I'm gonna use that. Oh, I never even set my timer, you guys. Sorry, I'm setting it now. As long as we start now, I think that's okay. I mean, this has already been quite a while that I'm working on it, so I might end a little bit before the timer. I just put 5 minutes on the clock. I think that's, you know, pretty generous considering I've been drawing for like 5 other minutes right now. One of the things I'd really like to do someday, not today, because I don't have that time today, but I really want to try like drawing. I drew those little masks for yesterday's prompt, and they had this like plastic edge to them that was really hard to record in my markers, and I think that I want to take some time at some point to draw something that has that sort of, oh, I got, my tooth is all wrong here. Should have been like way over there, but that's okay. Draw some sort of plasticky look to it. You know, that look that you get when you see the like edge of the plastic that was made in a machine, that kind of look to it. I don't know if that's coming across or that's making sense, but I like the idea of, you know, it really looking plastic. Like, it's definitely a plastic toy. It's not supposed to be a real pumpkin. I like that idea. Okay, so these are also orange in here. And I'm gonna bring in another orange to deepen some of those values, like over here. It's definitely quite dark here. Try Try to be selective about where I find those spaces. This week in my classroom, we've been drawing a lot of pumpkins. We've been trying to create forms with my beginning art students. So I'm trying to help them learn how to create the sense of three-dimensionality on their paper, on their flat paper. And we're using pumpkins as our model, and they are so cute. Like, they're just doing a good job, and it's adorable. I mean, I just really love having a classroom full of pumpkin paintings. So I was looking at the drying rack yesterday before I left, and it's just full of pumpkins, and I'm just like here for it. Loved it. A lot of dark on the bottom. A little bit here. Definitely some in here. Some underneath this little pail. I feel like I still need a little bit more, so maybe I'll leave some room for me to do that with color pencil. This still looks pretty weird. So let me try another one more. See if I can kind of blend it a little more. Try not to overwork the paper. Definitely can do that if I'm not careful. Okay, so that looks pretty wacky, and not in a good way. Let me grab a pencil real quick. Oh, I love that, Raquel. Faking it until that, I say that all the time. You fake it till you make it. I mean, I feel like sometimes, you know, and this is probably happening with you too. And I think it happens to me sometimes. I feel like this also as like a teacher. You know, I mean, I've been teaching for 20 plus years, and I mean, clearly I know what I'm doing. Like, I know what I'm doing, but I sometimes feel like, especially this year, I've been feeling so much like I'm not doing what I need to do, right? And I think that a lot of times it's our own, oh, there's the timer, our own insecurities, our own like imposter syndrome getting in the way. So, you know, I think that faking it is kind of like a way of, you know, making it happen. Like, you're just kind of like building your confidence as you go. And even if you have to pretend at first, I think that that's okay. And that's what you got to do. But I think we feel like we're pretending, but nobody else sees that. I think that you're doing amazing, and I'm so excited for you. I've never done a residency, and I think that seems like such a something fun to do, like a fun experience. Okay, I'm using a little bit of this blue. It's the indigo. It's my favorite color pencil, blue indigo. It's Prismacolor. It's definitely my favorite. I've tried a lot of color pencils. I do really like the Holbein color pencils, but this is my go-to. And Prismacolor are usually my go-to also. Even though there's a lot of other ones on the market, there's a lot of really popular ones. A lot of people like the Luminance Caran-d'Ache, but I like Prismacolor. Prismacolor, sponsor me. Shout out to Prismacolor. I think they have a lot of people that they can sponsor. Not somebody who uses their pencils like really raggedy. I think they should though. They should take a chance on me. I'm not even like trying to make things realistic, so. But so many people, man, I've seen people do incredible things with color pencils. I personally don't have the patience, but I don't think I really could. I would just be so like ready to finish. Like, is this done yet? Is this done yet? Can I finish? Okay, so I just had a little bit of like scrappy marks and like textures on here. And I feel like it's always kind of incredible how much that adds. It kind of feels like it finishes it off. It kind of seals it for me. Makes it feel like my marks are intentional, even if they didn't feel like they were before. And he looks like he has freckles and he's like really cute. This little like cute little robber pumpkin. He's robbing candy, I guess. I guess that's the idea here. Okay, that's been a really long time. That was like more than 5 minutes. So I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna try and do all the other images, and then if I have room, I can like sprinkle it with more little pumpkins from that first image, I think, because there's so much stuff to draw from there. I'm so happy that that helps you, Raquel. I mean, I think everyone around you sees how, you know, valid and everything you're doing is, and how you totally deserve to be in the space where you are. And sometimes it's just us who don't see it, you know, ourselves. Okay, quick coffee break. And I'm gonna go on to this little clown. I think he's next, yeah. I'm gonna make it a hair smaller. It's a little bit big there. And I'll try to find a spot to put it. I think I'm gonna maybe put it, let's see, I'm just gonna look at the other images real quick. I'm going to put, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of like, I always like to like counterbalance it, so I guess I'm gonna put it around here. I do like that little string it's on too, so I'll probably include that as well. And because I'm trying to unify everything by color, I'm gonna stick with the same general colors that I have. I'm gonna see if I need to add something else in, a new color, I will, but if I don't, I won't. I want to kind of like mark where everything's gonna go here. I like that this is like a little handmade doll, and it feels really like, what's a nice way to say like wrong? Like it's like it's kind of, I don't know, not poorly made, but like there's no real like attempt to create like any sort of like real clowniness to it. It's just like a little playful, irregular, I don't know what I'm saying here, irregular little doll. And like that's the charm of this, you know, and that's like the charm I'm trying to reach in all my paintings, always, forever. So his hair is going to be right there. I do love this little strand. It's kind of like, I think I like to draw things hanging like ornaments, things like that. Little hanging things I love. And one of the things that I think is going to be really fun is all these stripes that are going in different directions. So I love to play with that as well. Oh, I should set a timer. I'm gonna put 5 minutes on here, and let's see if we need more than that. We can, obviously, this is our drawing session, we can have more. Right here, there's like a turn here. Yes, I wish. That would be so amazing. Come on, Prismacolor, get it together. Here, and I'm still just using this 992. Oh, I didn't even add it to my swatches. 992. It's a little broken right there. Okay, right there. makes me feel like I could make one of these little things. I can see how it's constructed now. And they're so cute. It'd be so cute to have. I mean, I don't know. If you don't like clowns, this might not be cute for you, but I do like clowns. I think they're cute and like conceptually interesting. I do think it would be really cute to make a bunch of clowns for a Christmas tree. I don't know. That might creep some people out, but I love the idea. Make that a little longer. There'll be a lot of smooshed fabric there. Now I'm going to start to add some color since I don't really have anything on there yet. So I think I'm gonna go over the taupe kind of color. I really wish I would have just sketched this with the orange, but I didn't think of it. Because I think I want to keep the white of the paper and the stripes to turn orange in lieu of the green, since I'm using orange in this spread. And I actually don't have any green yet, which you can always just add some in, but if I can stay committed to this color palette I selected, I will. For me, there's something really like wonderful about a unified color palette, especially in a work that includes a lot of very different imagery that doesn't actually have any connection to each other than the connection that I'm creating with them. So the idea of putting all the same colors in these very different objects is very appealing to me. Some friends hated coming over, but they were all so cute. I love that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, people making horror movies about clowns really ruin clowns for most of the people in the world. Maybe it's because they had their own like trauma with clowns. So I guess it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? But I like them. I think that they are really, I don't know, like I like the idea of, you know, the idea that like someone might put on a face that makes you happy when you're not really happy. Like that's conceptually interesting to me. But also I just think visually I really enjoy the imagery, the really bright colors, the very gauche kind of imagery. So over the top. I don't know, I'm so into it. Oh no, you don't have them anymore? Did they get lost? I don't know. I'm not very sentimental, so I have a tendency to throw things away that I later regret. So I could see myself doing something like that, like throwing away all the things that somebody gave me because I'm like not into it at that moment, and then later on I'm wishing I hadn't done that. Okay, so I'm going to use the purple for the dark, so in this case for the little eyes. And some of this darkness in here. There's 14 seconds left, but I'm gonna take my time. Don't rush me, timer. I'm gonna use this purple for this little bib, or whatever this is. Okay, thank you for the suggestion. So the suggestion that I stop, but it is just a suggestion. There. Some of these lines. I'm going to use this taupey color to create the skin, I guess, of the clown, and I'm going to use that same color for these here. And pencil time. So 5 minutes of marker and 5 minutes of pencil. Let's see. Let's pretend that's what we did here. This looks like it's like paper mache too, so I extra love that. I think that paper mache produces like a really, I mean, I haven't seen anybody do it like really sharp and rendered. I think one of the beautiful things about it is that it's so loose and it's very, you know, imperfect. Let's say imperfect. There's a few of these little lines here. Yes, I'm like already loving this. Add a little bit of shading to add those like deep crevices where things overlap. The little wrapped feet are so cute. I don't know. They're just like a little blob of tape or something. Very cute. Deep shadows right here. Add those in. And a big deep shadow here. Oh my gosh, that's cute. I love it. Like goofy little clown. Ooh, I like it already. All right, I'm gonna scoot on to the next one. This one is very creepy. I mean, I don't know how I feel about having so many kind of like figural things, but I kept choosing them. I didn't want to, but they were choosing me. So I think this was just a sign that I had to draw it in. So, so my composition looks like this right now at this point. So now I have to figure out, I think maybe, I also have another one with another like group of people, which I think that would look like a good addition here, since all of these are really singular. So let me place this little goofy guy like maybe right here. I'm gonna put it right here. Okay, so I'm gonna put this like this, and then I just wish my book is so big that it's like bumping up against the, maybe I can flip it over, hold on a sec. Bumping up against the wall, and I can't do this. This is too big. So I can't really like move it that much. I'm very limited in where I can go. I think I just need a bigger desk. That's what I need. Let's do that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put it right here. This one's so weird. I'm gonna stick with the same color palette. I think I'm also using this yellow. So let's go forward. I'm gonna start with this yellow, and I think I'm gonna try to make this, because drawing small is not my strong suit. Let's see if I can move this up a little bit. I'm gonna try to make it smallish right here. So let's just say I want it to be that big. So the feet will be here. The hat would be here. Sometimes I'll just draw like a vertical line to give me context for this is how big I want it to be. Please don't go bigger than this. This is so weird. Like, why and who and what? What is this? just get the shape in, and I think I can move from there. Okay, so some boots, some feet. I kind of stayed in that same area, but just went a little bit over. I think I'm okay with that. Okay. And this big head. Like, why? Somebody tell me why. Okay, now that I have that, general, look, let me see if I can scooch this a little. I just don't want it to. There, you can see what I'm drawing. I'll try to move it every time, but my thingamabob is very temperamental. Let's see if I can make it stay. Forgive me, friends, so sorry. Okay, so there's my little guy. There we go. And I will use, I like to switch over to something light so I can, you know, make corrections if I make mistakes. I love this. I kind of want to make something like this, like paper mache. Ugh, I would love it. I really wanted to do paper mache with my class. I just didn't think I had like all the materials for it. Like really you just need paper and glue, but and when you have a lot of kids, I have a lot of kids this year, and then I have so many that are like taking my class in a non-traditional way, like they're not in the classroom, which just makes things even more complicated. But I haven't done it yet, and I think Halloween is like the perfect time, or like fall, because you can build a lot of things. You can do things that are like kind of like Halloween-y, but also for people who don't have an interest in Halloween, we could do something fall. We can make like a lot of things that would be October-ish. Oh my goodness, I don't know. This is so weird. Thank you. Thank you, Raquel. I love that you said that. It would be so cool if you still had your pumpkin, your clowns, and we could see them. And we could draw from them. That would be so cute. There is like, I think we have like this one like creepy doll that one of my friends gave my daughter, and she was like, no. She did not want it. She was creeped out by it right away. I thought it was funny and also didn't want to say no to my friend. So, we took it and we just put it in a closet over here. I'm gonna use, since I'm not using like any pinks, I'm gonna use this like purple that I had originally chosen for the mask over here. I'm gonna use that for the cheeks, and I'll use the dark purple for the black that we see kind of outlining things. I wonder if this is like a popular character or something that somebody would recognize, because it doesn't, like, I don't recognize it, but oh, I forgot to set a timer. I'm literally terrible at that. I keep saying that I should get one of those little egg timers for these meats, and it doesn't matter because I always forget to turn it on. Oh, there's some big eyebrows. Oh my God, I don't even have any room for that. Oh, I messed up. And that's like I cannot fix it. I'm just gonna leave the eyebrows out. Wow, I can't believe I just totally forgot the eyebrows. I was like, something looks wrong here. I mean, it looks wrong for a lot of reasons. This is like very weird, but it's extra wrong because I forgot the eyebrows. I'm gonna use this purple, and I'm gonna use that as a way to add the value, so we can see the nose, we can see that form. The cheeks, the puffy cheeks are so cute. I love that. This like puffy lip. I also kind of ran out of space for the chin, so she won't have much of a chin, but it is what it is. My gosh, this is so terrible, but I'm gonna roll with it. This just keep going. Just because I have this marker in my hand, I'm gonna go ahead and add in the boots, even though I'll probably make them orange in a bit. And I'm gonna use this for some of these light areas, which is a little unusual for me even, but we'll see how that fares. It's more in the dark. This side has a lot of light on it, and this side's a little bit more shadowy. My gosh, this is gonna be the worst, the worst part of this. This spread is gonna be this goofy thing, whatever it is. Hold on, one more thing I forgot to. Let me add the hat here. Maybe that'll make it feel, maybe that'll fix it. No, I feel like that's a tall order. That is not gonna fix it, but nice try, Erica. Nice try. Okay. So this goes up like this. I'll just black that out because it is very dark. And I still want that to be there. Okay. Let me see. Raquel says, I know, I wish I did. I really didn't know what happened to them. Oh, they probably just, you know, didn't make it through a move or something like that. Not even one eyebrow can make its way in here. Yes, no worries. Thank you, Raquel, for being here. It was nice chatting with you. Have a good one. Bye. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to try to pull this together. I have a lot of concerns, I'm going to be honest. Not sure it's going to make it, but if it doesn't make it, we're going to take the photo of it and we're going to put something on top of it so no one can see it. Okay? That sounds like a deal, right? We should just do that. No one can see. I'll be like, oh wow, this pencil just landed conveniently right on top of this part of the page that no one can see, and that's how I took my photo. This little hand is like a little fist. Here we go. Let's see if it comes together. I mean, what is it anyway? So how do you even bring this thing together? It's literally such a weird figure, costume, that, I mean, I don't know that it ever can really, will it ever really be bad? Will it ever really be right? Will it ever really be wrong? I don't know, because we don't even know what it is. So I feel like there's no way you can go wrong with this. Just keep telling myself that. 11 seconds are left here. And that face is so weird. Okay, thank you so much. I'm gonna keep drawing because I'm not there yet. I feel like if I just keep trying, I can maybe pull this together. I don't know, there must be a time when you can really like admit defeat, but I haven't found that time yet. Hasn't happened yet. Is this the one I was just using? Because it looks exactly the same. Let me just try to find the difference here. I think is that the same? Those literally look exactly the same. They are literally the same. Okay, good to know. What else do I have here? Some of these are just too dark. I just feel like okay, I'm gonna try blue. This is a new color addition, but I'm gonna use it as an overlay. So the idea is to just deepen those violets rather than making it look like its own color. You know, it just adds like a little bit more value. Let's see what it's doing to the other side of the page here. Oh, look at, it's holding up really well. This is so crazy. No eyebrows in here. I'm gonna just put them on there, but they shouldn't be there. That's not how they should go. a shadow, big shadow here. I like this deep ridge right between its lips and nose. That is like so funny. Oh my gosh, this is just so crazy. I feel like pencil's gonna pull this together. I have a good feeling about the pencil. Cross your fingers, everyone. Cross your fingers. Oh, I think that was that supposed to be orange? I think that was supposed to be orange. It's okay. There's some more shadow here, more shadow here. Lots of shadow in here. Let's just go from here. Okay, and there's some little hands here. I'm gonna use this color for the hands. And the boots, I forgot to add a little bit of color on the boots. Well, a little bit of red. That's it, those are the boots. These are the jokes. That's literally the weirdest, most awful thing I've ever drawn, and I think it's about time I made something that I thought was the weirdest and the most awful thing. Okay, let's add a little bit of this line work and let's see what it does for us. And at this point, we can do whatever we want because we can't make this any worse, I don't think. Can we? Oops. It's just the most ridiculous thing ever. Whose idea was this? Okay. A little bit more shading there. These eyes are just crazy. Crazy eyes. Maybe this outline will help a little. Some semblance of a eyebrow, a single eyebrow. Chubby cheeks. I do like the chubby cheeks. See if we can define this mouth a little. It looks like a very pursed lip, and I think that looks so cute. Let's add a little bit more there. There. Kind of make it look pursed. This is just weird. I mean, I really shouldn't be blaming me for how crazy this is. I should be blaming the person who made this costume because it's so weird. But if anybody knows what this costume represents, because I'm so curious, it has to be something, like something folklore or something that like people recognize, right? Because is it, or maybe it's just like the best art project ever, like somebody came up with this idea. I don't know. If you know, please share. Okay, that's really weird, and I'm gonna stop with that because that's crazy and it's time to move forward. All right, let's turn that off before we have nightmares and turn this next one on. So I like this one, but I think I want to do, I have an idea for including, not that one, I think it's this one in, because I think the 4 figures will add a lot to my composition. So let's see if I can up this again. I think this tripod's gonna get mad at me. She's gonna be like, no, cut it out. Okay, so let's leave it there. Let's make this just a little smaller. Okay, I'm gonna try to fit this up here, and I think I'm gonna make a little like box for it, like a little picture plane. Let me find that image real quick. There we go. Ugh, that's creepy, and I really do think that I should draw all 4 of them, but I don't know. Do we have enough time for that? I feel like it's gonna take me a long time. We'll try. We'll see what we can do here. So I'm gonna start with like a really irregular shape here, just to keep me in line. And let me move all of this out of the way. Literally so uncomfortable here with all of my junk everywhere. Let me see if I can get a little closer so you guys can see it. I'm sorry if I hope I don't break everything. Please don't do anything, camera, tripod thingy. Please cooperate. There we go. I think that is gonna help. There we go. Okay, that's the space I'll be drawing on. I have that picture there. I'll make it a little bit bigger so that if you're drawing it too, so I'll try to make it bigger, which is the one that's on here, this one. You can see it and try to draw it too. Okay, let's see what we can do now. I just feel like I might need a little bit more time than 5 minutes for this one, so I'm gonna make it a 10-minute drawing. Let's see if that keeps me on track. I don't know, it might not, but. So first I'll just mark in where I want every figure to go. I want all of these markers out of my way. There's a tall one right here, tall figure here, and then this figure is also tall, but mostly because of the bunny ears. There. It's funny because these are like very, you know, they look like animal masks. They're all animal masks, but why does that make them feel even scarier? And then this little pig. It's like a pig mask. It's like a cat, a duck, and a bunny. And they, when you put them all together and you make the photo black and white, it turns terrifying. So go figure. Now, I'm not great with figural stuff. Like, I like drawing figures, but I have a tendency to make really stiff looking figures, and I'm sure this is gonna be no different. This is gonna be stiff figure day too. So I'm gonna try my best here. These dresses are like so iconic. They're so cute. It's like these kids weren't even having fun either. They look like they're being forced. I mean, obviously we can't see their smiley faces underneath here, but maybe this was in an era when we didn't smile for photos. I don't know, but I'm already creeped out by this little sketch. It's already looking crazy. And then this photo is very, like, it's not very clear. So you kind of have to use this with, you got to take a lot of liberties with this. And, you know, I'd be really curious to see how anyone else does this, because I think that they'll all be fair. I mean, they'll be probably a little bit different each, since we all can't really see a lot of details here. And I think that's great though, because it really gives you an opportunity to be creative with the image. Use it as like a jumping off point, but really you're having to create a lot of this on your own. Hi Saru. I'm using the moleskin. I want to say it's called an I want to say it's an A3. It's very big. It is about 16 inches across and 11 inches this way. So it's very, very large. I'm only using half of it. I'll show it to you again if you're if you stick around for the end. I'll show it to you again when I zoom out. But it is a giant moleskin. It's one that I've had in my my supply, like on my bookshelf for a while, but I don't use it that often because it's just so big. I bought it during the pandemic and I didn't really realize how big it was going to be until it arrived at my door. And so I've done a handful of drawings in here, but not very much. I do like it when I'm feeling a little bit like I want to be experimental. I like to use this book because it gives me a lot of space. Oh, her arm is like up here. Okay. Yeah, the book is actually, it's doing really well with all of this marker on this little drawing down here. I really added a lot of layers and I was a little worried that it was going to bleed through, but it hasn't yet. I'll show it to you at the end. We'll take a look at the back of it. This is this is my 4th drawing in this spread so far. And we've got all these kind of like spooky images that I don't think they're supposed to be spooky, but I don't know, with time and age, they look definitely spooky. So this is a little image of some like kids wearing some animal masks. I mean, the outfits look pretty old, so I'm guessing this is, you know, mid-century, maybe 1960s or so. That dress looks like 1960s. With these plastic animal masks, but it's so funny how even though they're just like little animals, they just look so scary. Maybe it's just the context or like the way we've constructed stories that use this kind of imagery to scare us. And now these poor innocent children who were just probably enjoying a Halloween, or I don't know, maybe they weren't, maybe it was just for, you know, a festival or something. They are now kind of icons of creepiness. So we'll see. My figures are usually fairly stiff, so I'm gonna try my best to make this little composition look a little bit, I mean, I guess stiff is kind of good for this. The kids look very stiff also in just their positioning, but I don't know, my figure work is usually fairly stiff and I don't care for it. And that's probably why I should do more figural work. I obviously need work with that, but maybe we'll do a month where we do figure stuff. We'll see. This is like little kid. Here's his ear. I need a quick water break. There we go. Okay. So yes, these are gonna look, I mean, I don't know, I'm hoping for the best. Some of these images are like just, I mean, some of these masks are just so scary. Look at this one I think this is a pig. It looks like a pig to me, but I could be wrong. It just looks so scary to me, even though they're smiling, which is, I mean, this duck doesn't look like it's smiling. Oh, does that one have ears? Okay, I don't know. I don't know about that. But I think this is the child's ear right there. This child has hair coming out there, so we can remember that these are just kids wearing masks. Nothing too serious, nothing too scary. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of a line here just to create a space for them to stand on, but I'm not gonna draw the car behind it. Okay, now I need to incorporate some of these other colors. Remember, I'm using these oranges, yellows, purple. I don't have any green, but I like to build up my layers a little bit more slowly because if I make a mistake, I feel like I can still correct it if I don't have the darkest colors down yet. So I started with that light yellow, then I used that sort of taupe color. And now I'm using this mid-tone, and I like to look for the shadows now. And I know that a lot of these shadows are gonna be the darkest shadows, but I usually put this in even at the midpoint area because I'll just slowly layer and layer until I build up that value. So you'll see that I'm gonna add it to some things that are very dark and then other things that are not the darkest, but just because I want to kind of place all of those in. I don't know what's happening with those feet. They're really hard to see, but like here over the knees, there's a lot of shadow here. There's even a lot of shadow behind them because they're standing up against an object. Right here between her feet. Quite a bit of shadow right here at the collar, under the mask, lots of shadow there, next to the hair, right next to the mask, in the eyes even, on the sleeves, under the collar again. And I just like to kind of skim the whole page. I just kind of look over everything and try to find those areas where I see the shadows. I usually do this in several rounds. It doesn't happen on the first try all the time. Rarely does it happen on the first try. I'm just scanning and scanning over and over. I do have my photo from the Patreon on my iPad, so I'm referencing it there because it is a little hard to see up there on the screen. Oh, I don't want to draw this hand. I really don't want to draw this hand, but we have to try, right? Even if it looks like a goofy little paddle. Okay, that was 10 minutes. We already did a lot of time on here. This is gonna be a long one, I think. Maybe I'll like just bring it to like very incomplete stage, and then I'll come back later and fix it because I want to make sure I get lots of stuff drawn on here. But you know, I'm not in a rush today. I have time to stay. And so I'll just keep drawing I might just finish everything on the stream. And of course, if you have to go at any point, you feel free to go. I will definitely I'll post the replay on the Patreon, but also I'll let you know what the final image looks like. And you know, if you just have a little bit of time for your spread today, then you just do a little bit. Do what you can with the time that you have. You know, it's a weekend and you shouldn't be stressed about anything. If you can avoid it, just, you know, do your best. That's all we can do. Okay, so I have my second layer value. Oh, I really don't want to draw that. I really don't, but I'm going to try. Now I'm going to come in with, let me do that light purple, like that light blue that I've been using. I think it'll be good for this little mask here because it's so dark. Right here. And I'm going to look for the even darker stuff. Kind of like a really dark shadow there. Really dark shadows here with all the wrinkles of the pants. The fabric kind of bunched up. Dark little dark eyes in there. The mouth also looks kind of dark there. There's also a lot of shadows behind them, but since I'm not drawing that car, I really don't want to put the cast shadows of things. Then I have to create context. I have to draw something that would be behind them. And I don't feel like doing that. So it's gonna be a little, this stupid arm that I have to draw. I'm mad about it. I'm gonna try to settle down because it's not the arm's fault that I'm not good at that. Oh, see, like I didn't do anything for the knees, and I might not because, I mean, really, who needs knees, right? I mean, who needs them in this drawing? I don't think that that's the most important thing that needs to be included, but that said, if I wanted to put them in, I would go back with the lighter orange, and I think that would be a good fit for it now, for this knee, because I've already put the darker one in. Here, and there's also a nice shadow right here between the two girls, and a really strong shadow here between the arm, and there's a little shadow here on the hand too, shadow on this hand too. Oh yeah, nice shadow here too. Now for the little boy right here, I'm Try to get some of these wrinkles implied at least a little bit. From the music too. It's a little jumper, or they don't call this jumper, right? We call it jumper, but like a little coveralls that he's wearing. Lots of shadows in here. Don't really know what happened with the, oh, I like this. There's little stripes. I'm here for some stripes. I want to draw stripes. Any opportunity to draw some stripes, I will take it. Put some more stripes in here. Striped shirt. And she also has a plaid dress, so I will try to put that in too. Because I love some pattern. I love it. Right there. There's probably some feet down here somewhere, but I can't really see them. I'm going to use the same color, and I'm just going to kind of shade in the ground here. I don't know why I'm doing this. I just felt this instinct to do it, so just this urge to do it, and I felt like it could be a good choice. Or just to kind of break that space up a little bit. That's weird. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna put color in the background too here. Let's see, so now I have this really dark purple. I haven't really added any of that, so I'm gonna use some of that for the even darker areas here. I'm looking for the blackest areas, the darkest spots, the places that have a lot of shadow. This mask, it's terrifying. Has a lot of shadow here on the ears. Also around the eyes, like, whose idea was it to make that mask? Because it's terrifying. See this little boy, wait, one more, let me come right back to this. He's wearing some little overalls. I feel like I didn't even put any on him. Right here. He's got like a little jumper, right? No, not a jumper. What do you call it? Like overalls, coveralls. Not coveralls, overalls. There. See, even when you add like a second layer, it adds a lot more depth to it. You can really, really deepen those shadows there. I love that. And if we look at the back of this paper, like it's holding up really, really well. So go figure. Okay, back to what I was doing. I like to use this really dark, especially when things touch each other, like right here between the two figures. I'll usually do that. The darkest colors, so that way it helps to define those spaces and to separate the forms. It's got black collars, I think, right here. They're very dark, so I'm going to darken those. And lots of shadow right here between these two figures here. I'm going to put some on the bottoms where their feet are, even though in some cases I can't really see them. Just to help them sit on the ground, like to look like they're standing. Not sit, but like literally standing on the ground, so they don't look like they're floating around. Oh my gosh, this is creepy. Okay, I'm gonna bring my pencil in now because it's already been a lot of minutes, and I do think it needs more stuff, but I don't know what I'm gonna add yet. I'm just gonna use this pencil to start to define some of these a little bit. See if we can create a little bit more definition. Even though a lot of this is not very defined, so why are we creating definition? But it's just gonna, I think it helps to pull the whole drawing together a little bit more. Poor kids. poor kids. They're probably not even poor kids. Like they probably were having a blast, and it just looks, it looks scary to us to try to see it in the context with which it was probably taken. Overall little buckles, some sort of buckles right there. They're just little kids. Honestly, this is like so cute because even though we see it as kind of creepy now, like these were just like homemade costumes, or like, I mean, the mask looks store-bought, but oh, this dumb hand again, the stupid hand is in the way. I'm just gonna imply it very little, and it's not the hand's fault that I can't draw it, it's my fault. So stop roasting the hand, Erica. I think also that arm is probably a little too long for this size of a figure. It's a child, so it looks a little big to me. This, I think it's like, it looks very like Pink Panther. I don't know, maybe it feels like it should have whiskers, but I don't see any, so I'm not gonna put them on there. This one, I don't know what those like ear looking things are. Like, what are those? This eye is almost just like a little slice, and this one's like a full-on oval, and you can see the eye kind of peeking in there. It looks even more creepy now. I guess success then, right? If it looks more creepy, it's better. And I think I'm going to use my pencil very, very soft to create a little bit of pattern on her dress. This is very unobserved. I'm just inventing a lot of this. Not a lot of observation happening here. I just like the idea of having that pattern in there. And I know it's not like accurate, but I'm going to put a little bit of like shadow around the knee, some lines, and it looks like socks, but I don't really see any shoes. I just see socks. Can you imagine if you saw like your childhood picture on Pinterest or something, and it was like you and your siblings when you were little? That'd be crazy. You're like, wow, people think this is creepy, but this was just us at Halloween. Okay. These legs are definitely too short, but they are what they are. Sorry, little girl. A little bit more knee there. And this dress looks very simple, so I'm just going to put a few little lines to kind of make it feel like fabric, but I know I'm kind of making that up. This is her hand, and this other hand here. So we'll just leave that there. We're just going to imply them. These eyes are really weird. I know like bunnies tend to look kind of like in real life. Rabbits can be a little bit scary, especially rabbits. Big rabbits, like, ooh, their eyes kind of scare me. Like, they're red, but also I had a student actually who had a rabbit, and her rabbit had like, it looked like it had black eyeliner, like it had black eyeliner on, and I don't know why those eyeliner eyes really scared me. I didn't like them, but I mean, like, I like eyeliner on me and on other people. I don't know. We had a dwarf bunny for a while, and she was so cute and not scary at all, but she was mean. I mean, she wasn't scary visually, but she was scary in her attitude. She was a little bit combative, which, I mean, I don't blame her. She was living in a cage, so how great could life be if you're living in a cage? And we had originally got her around my daughter's birthday, and she lived inside the house, and then she was just like a free roaming bunny, like a cat, but Then she started chewing every wire that we had. I remember I had just bought a new Christmas tree and I was so happy because it was silver. I'd wanted like a white, and I had a white Christmas tree first, but I found this silver one. I wanted another white one, but I couldn't find one, so I got this silver one, and it was like all vintage, and she chewed up the this is what we get. So she chewed up the wire for the plug, so it wasn't even like the whole wire, like literally just the plug part. And one, how do they do that and not like get electrocuted? I don't know. How does that happen? Like if I was chewing a wire, I feel like something bad would happen. But anyway, she was such a cute bunny, and she was just really, she wasn't friendly. She was aggressive, definitely. I'm going to put some orange in here since I don't have any. I'm just going to go all the way in here. Just going to risk it. I'm going to risk it all. We'll see. I think the orange will be a good way to tie it into everything else. Like this requires a lot of my focus, like not going over edges. I love it. I'm glad I did that. I was at first kind of like, oh, what have I gotten myself into? But now I feel like it fits pretty well in here. It looks really crooked to me in the picture that you all are looking at, but I feel like it's mostly straight. Hold on, I'm gonna take a minute to, oh yeah, it's crooked. Definitely crooked, but it's okay. We'll live. Okay. That one is done. That one was hard. And we'll take that one off and never look at it again. I have a little bit more room here. I think that would be a good spot for the moon. Hold on, let's see what else we got. Oh, I really want to draw this mask so much. Ooh, or that tower. Okay. Options. Okay, we already did this. So let's do, I think the tower, can't decide. Mask and moon. That's what we have left. Mask, moon, and tower. I really only have room for like 2 more things. So I think I'm going to do the moon on the bottom and the tower up here. So this is where I'm going to put the tower. I'll get rid of the moon for now. And then I can put this right here. I'm going to make this just a hair smaller, so you guys can see where I'm fitting it in. Okay. So I'm going to try to fit it here. I might just try to make this really fast so that I can move through this more quickly. I just feel like 5 minutes might be too little for me, so I'm going to start it with 10, and I'm going to start with this very light, well, this yellowish color. Okay, so I'm going to start with the middle pumpkin, just to kind of get context. I don't know why I'm starting with the middle. It's just how things happened. And then this is the cat one. I saw on TikTok, like somebody taking one of those plastic pails and then adding paper mache and paint to it to make it look like these vintage pails. I think that's what this picture from Pinterest was about. Like how to turn your plastic pails into vintage looking, whatever these are, pails. And I really want to try it. I mean, especially when I see this, they look so cool. Okay, so that's gonna be like the general size for it, and that's also crooked, so yay me, I'm on a roll. I mean, maybe I can correct it now before I move forward. If I add a little bit more on this side and I add a little bit more on this side, I might be able to somewhat correct it. Okay, well, it's still pretty crooked. It looks more crooked than it did before, but I think it looks better in like real life. So let's just see. Okay, I'm gonna take this bluish violet, and I'm gonna try to sketch in these figures. This is probably the main downside to working in this big sketchbook is like, especially if you're sitting down, I feel like I can't really get positioning right because everything looks kind of crooked to me, or I don't know, I'm drawing in crooked, but then I pull back away from it and I can see that I did everything wrong. Now the advantage of doing this while you're streaming is that I can see it on the screen. I'm looking at the screen of my streaming software, and I can see that it's very crooked. Try to straighten it out a little. But I mean, when I'm drawing, I don't really look at the screen, and then I step back from it and I'm like, oh, that was totally off. It's kind of bent backwards like that. This pail has a handle going that way, and there's one here, just a little hint of it. Okay, so I'm going to use this to sketch in these faces. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. We spent a lot of time on the previous one. It's already 11:30. I like to always do about an hour and a half here. So I'm going to try to make these a little bit speedier because I still have one more drawing I want to do. Of course, feel free to go whenever you're ready. This is a little cat. So much fun to draw these. I wonder if they looked at like reference pictures of old like masks, or I don't know, cat. I mean, there's that like iconic Halloween cat, and it's like vintage and usually like purple and blue, maybe wearing a hat. This one's like slightly off to the side, so it's a little harder to see what's happening here. In fact, I've already drawn more of it than you can actually see, but oh, this one's really cute. It's got like all these little stripes on it. And if you know me, you know I love some pattern. I can't get away from it. And these are also sitting on the floor. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger here. They're sitting on the floor, so I can probably put in some nice shadows right here. I love a shadow too. There, okay. So now I have the general placement of everything, and so I think I'm gonna work on the pattern that's in the back. For some of these, they have pattern, and I'm gonna put that in first so that I can then just draw the faces over them. So I'm gonna pretend the faces aren't there for now, just to draw in the overall shapes of those pattern spaces here. I guess theoretically I could skip all of that. I'm kind of working around some of these things, but I don't think I really need to. I could just go over it. There, and then this one is much more, actually this one would have been like a little more white, so I'm gonna use this orange to sketch some lines, and then maybe I'll use my Posca to add some white in. Excuse me, I need a water break. And then this one's very dark. It's like black, but I'm not using black. I'm using violet. I'm gonna go ahead. You know what I should have done? Now that I think about it, because there's like two shades. It's like dark and then really dark. So I'm gonna use this blue first. It's probably why I should have used something else for the sketching, but that's okay. Let's just draw everything as shapes. So we have the general placement of everything. And then this will be, since it is a dark pumpkin, it's got a black layer of paint on it. We're gonna pretend this is the black. And then there's shadows on that black, so then we'll use the purple for the shadowy parts on that black. See if we can kind of straighten it out a little bit after that crooked fandango. I'll be so mad if I turn this around and everything's crooked. It might happen, so let's just be mentally prepared for this. You know, anything can happen when you're drawing. Anything can happen. Okay, I'm gonna use the orange to put in these orange. It's kind of like reddish in here, but we're gonna swap out orange for that. And I'm gonna leave that orange showing through. Wow, these have like gradients, and I don't know. I wonder if that was, there's a lot of gradients on this actually. I think somebody was just kind of like really enjoying gradients, because I can't imagine, actually maybe that's right. I was just thinking, like, were there so many gradients on these kind of like vintagey looking pumpkins? I don't know. Like in here, there's a lot of gradients here. It's like it blends into orange. There's also a lot of brown in that one. I don't have a brown, so I'll probably use this lavender looking color right there. Super big, thick eyebrows. Love that. Oh, he has like a smile with teeth. I couldn't even see the teeth. But the teeth really add a lot of personality. So I want to add those teeth in. Let's put those there. Okay, this is looking kind of crazy right now, but that's okay. I'm going to come back in with that dark purple. Right here. Try to straighten this out a little. And when I say that I'm trying to straighten it out, I'm just trying to like compensate, like add more to the opposite side so it feels like it's not as crooked. This side is a lot lighter. And you notice like I kind of avoided that part, which would kind of shave off a little bit from that side of the cat, again just to try to compensate for it in the opposite direction. And I'm gonna save a little bit of dark line work for my pencil, because I plan to bring my pencil into this. Okay, so I'm gonna stop a little short from that. That was my timer. I'm not even close. Wow, I've really gotten slow. I think because I've been slacking. I haven't been drawing as often. And I do think though that when I draw quickly, I feel like my drawings are a little bit better. I feel like I am a chronic overworker. So I have to like give myself you know, boundaries. I have to force myself to stop sometimes. And I've definitely gotten better over the years, especially with my creative practice. I have definitely felt like I have a better sense of when to stop now. I don't go all the way in all the time like I used to. I used to just do work and work and work until it was dead. I just looked terrible and it was overworked, and I think I'm better about that now. But, you know, I'm sure I have those tendencies just in me. mostly everything in there. I think on this one too, I have mostly everything in there. There's also a little eye here. And this very dark mouth. Add the dark in there. I love that. The teeth are so cute. Literally the best part, I think. Okay, now I'm going to take some of this also, just really quick at the base. Just make them feel like they're sitting on the surface, sitting on each other, because they are sitting stacked. Should I add some white? I haven't done any white in here. I don't know. It might not be a good idea. Does it anyway? Do some in here. I don't think that's where that was supposed to go, but oh well. It is there. Oh wait, I forgot something here. Forgot these little eyes. The white little teeth, a few little white lines that I don't have any room for, so I'm gonna get what we get. That little tooth, these little teeth, oh my gosh, these teeth are so funny. I love them. Little eyes. Oh, this one had all the white, so let's try to add some of that in here. Really rough, very rustic, very rough and raw, aka messy. Scratchy lines. There. Okay. I think that's okay for now, and then I'm gonna take my pencil in. So the pencil, again, even if it's not really going to be super visible because it's a little bit, I mean, it might not even be as dark as that violet I'm using. Oh, I forgot something. Little nose. Since it's even like lighter than that, it might not show all the time, but I think for when it does show, it really adds a lot to the sense of completion that these have. So even when they're not totally going to show, or it might seem like it's not adding much to the image, I'll usually add it in anyway. Go around these things, and by going around them, I'm trying to make them feel like they have a little bit more dimension, because these are pretty dimensional. This image shows that they kind of like built up the surfaces so they feel like 3D, like these two right here, right there. You can see they kind of project out of the surface here, although it's a little hard to tell from my drawing ability here. Might not be able to see it very well. I don't know, I'm okay with that though. Maybe a little bit of shadow here. So I like to add some, when I have like really hard lines in the pencil, I also like to make sure that I include a little bit of like softer texture from the pencil. So I'll do a little bit of this like shading kind of stuff here on the pencil. Really think that I kind of shaved off too much on the bottom there, but it's okay. If you don't tell anyone, I won't tell anyone. Let's add a little bit in there. You'll feel a little bit more dimensional. Okay, I kind of like this. I'm gonna add some little, I don't know, this reminds me of Pinocchio when I was little, the original Pinocchio one. It had like these there's this like scene. I mean, I literally don't really remember very much about that movie. I do remember that it was weird. Like, wasn't there like a scene where like the grasshopper, no, Jiminy Cricket is like drinking, like drunk? Hi, Payal. Payal. You tell me if I'm saying, like, I mean, I don't know how you can tell me right now, but I hope I'm saying your name correctly. You just let me know if I need to make corrections. Thank you for joining. Oh, you're in Austin? That's awesome. So we're in the same time zone. We can like get together more easily. I love that. Yes, I know that you just joined my Patreon. Thank you so much for being here. I'm glad you made it to one of the first ones. The first streams, like right in time. Okay, so I'm going to stop here on this one. And the last one I wanted to do was this moon. So if you're not done with it, by all means, please continue. Don't let me stop you. Let's see what else we got here. I think it's this one. Okay. So this is the last one I have in mind. I'm going to scoot my camera, see if I can adjust without making it too angry. Hold on. Let's see. So just so close to the edge here. Scoot it over a little, maybe zoom out a little. Hold on a sec. Zoom out. Please don't fall apart. Tripod thingy, whatever you are. Please be on your best behavior. She's like, no, I do what I want. Okay, I'm gonna try to straighten it out a little. My apologies for all the wiggling around. I feel like it can make you car sick. Hold on, let me scoot her again. There we go. That's a little better. You can kind of see, I think you can see everything now. Okay, so I'm gonna be working there. Let me make this moon a little smaller. Last spot in my Payal. Okay, thank you, Payal. And thank you so much for being here, Payal. Payal or Payal? Payal. Thank you so much for correcting me, for helping me with that. I love like phonetic writing. Like when you can write something phonetic, I love it. I tend to do that with my last name because a lot of people can't pronounce my last name. Or like it kind of gives them trouble, so. Okay, so here is my last image. This is the space I have for it. I'll probably, because everything feels so like separated, I kind of don't love that I have like 2 and 2 and 2. It just feels a little formulaic, almost like I was making like a sheet of clip art or something like that. And I don't love that, but if I need to, I'll probably add a few little embellishments to add a little bit more, I guess kind of like a little bit more interest to the composition, because it does feel very like static, and I don't want that. So I don't know what's happening here. Apparently I have never drawn a face before because this is so awful. Sorry. I already started off on the wrong foot, so let me see if I can correct. I'm gonna try to correct myself here. Let me scoot everything over. Probably because I have this at such a weird angle. Trying to blame it on the angle. Erica, just own it. Okay, there you go. I think I'm correcting it. Let's see. And the good thing is I can still correct all of this if I need to. I do wish I hadn't shaded those eyes in all the way because, you know, I don't have any space for the white of the eye anymore. Like I already went over it, so this seems like it should be a little bit lower, but I can always use my Posca, my white Posca. The Posca is an acrylic marker and it's very opaque. So if you have something that you want to cover up, you can use the Posca to do that. Okay, so that's just like a really loose sketch of what I want to include. I'm going to go back to this little blue here that I've been using as almost like shadow. And I'm going to put it here on the side, right here. So once I get to this stage, I'm already starting to really kind of like figure out where everything's going to go. And I'm solidifying this form, so I have to try to proceed with caution around this, especially because I am struggling with getting everything straight. Yeah, this sketchbook is really big, Pyle. It is so big, and I think because I'm working so close to it, it's really hard to get my scale right because I keep messing up with my scale and my placement. So I'm gonna try really hard on this face. I just really feel like I need to move everything. Let me see if I can move this again. I would like to work like this. So I have to make the camera work with that. Hold on, let me figure this out. So this is mine right here. Let me see if I can move all of this around. I'm gonna try this one. There, I think that's better, right? Yeah, so then I could work a little bit more comfortably here. All right, let's see if we can get this right. So I'm so nervous. I don't usually feel this like nervous about messing something up, but I just feel like I'm gonna get this face wrong. You know, we just gotta go in with confidence, because if we don't, then we're definitely gonna get it wrong. So let me see if I'm gonna try to fake it till I make it. Let's go. Whatever happens, happens here, right? And remember, if I do mess it up and I cannot fix it, I'm just gonna take, like, conveniently when I take my picture, you know how I like scatter things, I'll just like, wow, my sketchbook just fell on that. I'll just like conveniently place something on it so that I don't have to show it. Or maybe I should just show it, right? And let everyone see that, you know, we all make mistakes, and, you know, it happens. It happens to all of us, right? Oh, thank you so much, Pyle. I think like the marker layering is like my favorite part. Like, that's the thing that I love the most about using these markers. You're using it in watercolor, right? And you know, with watercolor, I just honestly feel, and I tell this to my students and they don't listen to me. These are teenagers, of course. So of course they know and I don't know anything. But I just tell them, like, watercolor looks best when it's like rich and like developed in layers. And they just want to put one layer down and then call it a day. I'm like, oh my gosh, it will look a million times better if you just develop it a little bit more, add more layers, let them dry, and then like build on them. And they'll, if they do add more layers, a lot of times they'll just do the same color right on top of exactly the same one. And it's not really what I like have in mind. So it takes like a lot for them to really shift their frame of reference for what watercolor should be. I think they think of it as just like coverage. Like, I'm just gonna cover up. So once it's covered, it's done. And I'm like, no, like, build that stuff, you know? Watercolor looks so good when it's built, when it's like really like layered. The nuances that come out with watercolor, just like unbeatable. Like, literally, there's nothing like that. It's so beautiful. I mean, I would also say that there's also nothing like oil painting, but I mean, watercolor is like one of my favorites. And I feel like there's nothing like that. It's just so beautiful when it's really done with a lot of like layers and development. Like, that just shows a lot of, you know, commitment to the craft and a lot of like love for the media, and there's just nothing quite like that. So I would love to see your paintings. Do you show in Austin at all? Do you want to? Would you be interested in that kind of thing? Okay, we're seeing. Okay, I think she's coming together. Ah, yeah, I agree. Especially with skins and like skin tones, like really you need all of those layers. It just looks so much better. Okay, I'm gonna use some of this blue now, which I had already started with, but now I'm just gonna kind of like add it in some little strokes. So right now we can see your paintings on Instagram probably, right? if you're comfortable with that. I mean, I don't want to pressure you, but I would love to see your work. I'm very much, I'll follow you if you're on Instagram, and that way we can see what you're doing. Ooh. Also, we have a Facebook. I just meant to get on it yesterday because I know someone is waiting for approval. I think Emma was waiting for approval, and I haven't been on Facebook for a while, so I need to get over there and check in and see what everyone's doing. Because with Patreon right now, we don't really have an opportunity to share as members of a Patreon. And so I think it would be nice to be able to share. So we have a private Facebook group, and you can share pictures of your work there for other patrons to see. Oh, something went awry here. I'm flying too close to the sun. It's okay, we'll figure it out. I think placement and like general layout is always the hardest part for me at the beginning. I'm always the most worried that I'm going to get the placement wrong. I always have said that composition is my most challenging, I guess, like effort in an artwork, in any artwork. I always struggle with my compositions. So that's what I'm always working on. And once I get composition down, I feel a little bit more confident, like I can work more comfortably, but it's always a struggle for me. I don't know what I intended to do with this, but I think this would also be really fun to draw with my students. There's a lot of texture on this, but I don't think I'm gonna put too much. I'm gonna do a little bit of white in here, even though I think it's kind of okay if I don't have it, but we'll just give it a little bit of brightness there. And then some pencil. Okay, I'll share that. I mean, the group is posted on the Patreon. So if you look at that first post, the pinned post, there's a link to it there. And then I just have to go over there and make sure that I accept you and add you into the group. So usually, I think that's what's waiting for me right now because I haven't been on Facebook for a while. And I don't have the app, so it would be so much more convenient if I had the app. Maybe I should need to get the app. I just feel like it's a slippery slope, right? Like getting on, I'm already on Instagram quite a bit, so I didn't want to be on every social media for like all day long because I think it would be dangerous for me to have all of the apps on my phone. So I try to like limit myself, but I gotta get on my computer and check in. Okay, this looks better. I like it. I mean, she looks a little more like sneaky and the real picture looks a little bit like nicer, maybe more benign, and mine looks a little possibly malicious, which I'm not sure how to feel about that. But okay, I'm adding some textural marks. I'm not going to put too much on here. And then I'm going to add some of my favorite little, I don't know why I want to call it accoutrements. I don't know what that is. I think that's in food. Accoutrements? Embellishments, I sometimes call them. Little like additions. Usually I put these in for compositional purposes. Like I feel like I need something to kind of balance this or to add something to another section. I will add these little bits in here and there. Sometimes these little like kind of movement lines, little lines that kind of create a sense of movement or energy in a space. And I'll show you like these little bubble thingies that remind me of the Jiminy Cricket was getting inebriated on something. He was drinking something. I remember he was like in a barrel or something. I don't know how I remember this and nothing else about that story. Should probably watch it again. And then did I also do, yeah, let me add a couple more here. And then I'll usually add also a little title so I remember that this was from whatever day, and this is from our Spooky Spread live stream. Sometimes I like to add words also, so I'll put them in here. Like, I could do it right here. There's not a lot of stuff here. And it's funny because this isn't even really a spread because it's only one page. But was it spooky is the question. Is this spooky? I don't know. I haven't used my pen yet, but I do like to do a little outline on my letters usually. I try to make it a little bit like imprecise, is that a word? Not precise. I like it to be a little broken, a little off. Just makes it feel very loose and then I always like to add well, I haven't been using my stamp a lot lately, but that's because I've been doing a lot of my drawings early in the morning at school before work. And I don't have my stamp there. I have it here at home. So I'm going to definitely add my stamp today because I've been missing it. And I think visually it adds something because it's a different like font and it looks very formal or like very businessy. It just adds this kind of like additional visual image, you know, or like visual connection. So I think I probably would have put it over here, but I think I should put it next to this right now. So the last time I used my stamp was October 13th, which is quite a while ago. So let's make it the 21st. Okay. Should I do it this way? I feel like I should do it this way. October 21st. Spooky spread. I mean, I like it. Let me zoom out a little so you can see this. I want to show you the whole spread. Let me put away this little moon. There we go. Okay. So overall, let me zoom out quite a bit so you can see everything. See if that stays because my tripod is misbehaving lately. So it just depends on what kind of mood she's in. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay, so this is my overall spread. It's one page in the book. This book is actually quite large, so not everything fits. This was the creepiest weird thing. If I could go back, I really wish I could have like used something a little bit lighter for that like skin color, because then I would have been able to do the value. Like right now when I'm looking at it on the screen, it looks all kind of convoluted, very blurry, just because it's all very similar in value. It's all very dark. And so we don't have a good sense of shadows, because that little masky part that was on this costume was really like dimensional. But maybe, I don't know, should I and I start doing it already. Like maybe this will give it a little bit of light, because it just feels so dark and like hard to make sense of all of the little shadows that we added in, or even the outline, because it had puffy cheeks and we can't really see them. And I think the values that I used for it were very similar, so there wasn't a lot of visual contrast. So anyway, this was probably my favorite, but I like the look of that one, and of course the clown's probably my favorite. Thank you so much, Saru. I really enjoy these markers because the layering is really nice. And when I first started using them, I didn't like them that much because I didn't like the textures that they created, but now I really like embrace that texture, and it's a nice touch for me because it reminds me a little bit of painting, like seeing brush strokes. So I really enjoy that about it. Let me switch over to here and I'm going to show you how big this book is. So let me see, here's my camera. Let me back it up a little. since we're not going to use that now. So this is how big my book is, right? It's pretty large. Let me get in the screen here. It's pretty big. It's 16 in this direction, 16 inches, and I believe we said that it was 42 inches or 42 centimeters. And then it's about 11 and a half here, and that's in inches. So I want to say it was like 28. I don't remember exactly, but it's very big. And when it's open, it's super huge, right? Very large. Sorry, wrong direction. There we go. So I used it this way. Oh my gosh, upside down. The chaos of this moment. I'm sorry. So I used it big like this, and A3. There we go. Is it an A3? I think it's an A3. I kept thinking it was either A3 or A5. But if you're saying A3, I think you're right. You're probably correct on that one. It's very big, and I enjoy this sketchbook a lot, especially when I want to play and experiment, because it does give you so much room to make mistakes in it. So I love it, and I don't take it out all the time. I don't use it often, but when I do, I usually end up with something that I'm really happy with. So maybe I just need to encourage myself to work bigger. Oh, A5 is smaller and A3 gets bigger. Okay, so then this is probably A3, right? I'm thinking that's what it is. I think I clarified at some point, and I know that I think it's linked on my Amazon list, because so I can definitely go back and check it just to make sure. But I think if you're saying it's an A3, I believe you. I'm always getting the A's wrong. But yes, it's very big. It is very fun to play with every now and then. But yeah, this is the size, and I've been using my Tombow markers, and then Posca, and my favorite color pencil, which is Prismacolor pencil right there. You can put it over here so you can see better. There we go. So that's all I used today, and I think we did quite a bit. This was about a 2-hour stream, so thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, of course, let me know. I'm going to the replay will be available for anybody to watch. If you're watching from the replay, thank you so much for checking it out, and thank you especially to you guys who came and joined me and kept me company while I was drawing. I thought this was a really fun spread, and I'm glad that I got to do this with you guys this morning. So just let me know if you have any questions on Patreon. You can put it in the comments for this video, where the video is, and I will respond to you there. And until the next session, we have another session coming up. It is for the clubs, the club members, the club tier, and it's going to be like Google Meet. So it's more like a Zoom, and we get to talk to each other face to face if that's something you want to do. Yeah, have a great day. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great one. Have a fun weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye.